Many people right now are taking huge positions in XRP, and honestly, I am one of them. The reason is simple: we see something big building in front of our eyes, something that could completely change what this market looks like. We are not guessing, we are not just hoping. We believe a massive breakout moment is very near for XRP, a moment that can push its price far higher than what most people can even imagine today. Welcome to Hudson XRP News. If you want real talk about Ripple and XRP, you are in the right place. Before we jump deeper into this important discussion, type an X in the comments if you believe in the future of XRP, and hit the like button to support real XRP believers who don't follow hype but follow logic, progress, and facts. Today's crypto market looks loud on the surface, but under the surface, the real movement is happening where most people never look. XRP has been slowly positioning itself to take the lead in this digital asset space. Yes, many experts believe XRP has the potential to take over Ethereum and even Bitcoin one day. That is a bold claim, but it is not an empty one. There are strong reasons behind it. Some analysts are even expecting a 3-digit or 4-digit price for XRP at some point, and many think that moment can arrive sooner than the typical investor expects. When you look at what is being built behind the scenes, this does not feel like a gamble. It feels like an opportunity that only comes once in a lifetime. The difference between XRP and the rest of the crypto market is simple. Most of the crypto projects are trying to become useful someday. XRP already has a real purpose. It was designed for global settlement, cross-border value movement, and full interoperability with financial systems. It is working with financial institutions, banks, and payment providers around the world. While others are trying to capture attention, XRP has already captured partnerships and real-world use cases. We are early investors in a network that is already plugged into the future. Many people say they want to get rich with crypto, but they ignore the utility of a token. They look only at price. They chase hype. They follow whatever coin is pumping at the moment. Then they wonder why they lose money. The smart money goes where long-term power grows. XRP is exactly that. It is aligned with governments, with central banks, with international payment rails. Not every crypto can become a global settlement asset. In fact, almost none can. That is why XRP keeps drawing a loyal and strong community. It is not hype, it is logic. It is connection to real finance. If you look at what is happening in the world right now, both the United States and China recently shared positive results about their trade talks. Words like successful and early agreement are being used. Global financial cooperation is starting to rise again. Governments are preparing for a more connected economy. And when you want fast, secure worldwide money movement, you need a digital asset that can operate across borders instantly. That is exactly what XRP was built to do. Here at Hudson XRP News, we focus on what moves the market forward. We do not want temporary pumps. We are interested in the moment when the real demand arrives. When banks, institutions, and global payment systems begin using XRP at full scale, the supply will get locked from every direction. That is when price will not just rise a little, it will explode. That is why many smart investors are going all in. They would rather take the position now than watch from the sidelines later. Stay with me because in the next parts, we will break down what is happening behind the scenes with Ripple, with the US financial system, and why big investors are quietly preparing for something huge. If you are excited, drop a comment below. This is Hudson XRP News, and we are just getting started. When we look at XRP's position in this market, the most important thing to understand is how deeply it is already integrated into the financial system. Federal Reserve Governor Christopher Waller recently stated that cryptocurrency is now woven into the fabric of the payment and financial system. That is a powerful statement, especially when you consider that 99% of cryptocurrencies are not actually being used by major financial institutions. They might be popular on crypto Twitter or get attention when prices move fast, but they are not a part of real global banking rails. XRP is different. Ripple has spent more than a decade forming relationships with the world's largest banks, financial institutions, and payment providers. That foundation is the real reason XRP is trusted by serious investors. The crypto market is full of noise. Projects appear, hype, spreads, and then most of them disappear because they were never built to solve real issues. XRP solves one of the biggest problems in global finance: cross border value transfer. Old systems like SWIFT are slow, expensive, and require multiple middlemen. XRP removes those delays and costs. It brings settlement down to seconds at a fraction of the price. For banks and institutions that move trillions every day, that difference is massive. It is not about speculation, it is about efficiency. So, when we hear regulators acknowledging crypto as part of the financial system, we know that XRP is already aligned with that future. Another reason XRP stands out is regulatory clarity. While the US continues debating how to treat crypto assets, XRP has already gained partial clarity in a landmark ruling. With clearer legal standing, institutions feel more comfortable moving into the asset. They want safety and compliance before price growth. That is exactly why companies like ITR Capital highlight institutional-grade asset custody. Large financial players will not risk billions without security, auditing, and oversight. XRP fits that requirement. It is the digital asset built to operate at the highest institutional level. We are also seeing major business leaders supporting and adopting XRP infrastructure. Michael Arrington, the founder of TechCrunch and Arrington Capital, confirmed that they are now onboarded to Hidden Road, a platform with advanced tools for hedge funds. This is a strong sign that institutional capital is preparing to flow in. These aren't small crypto traders, these are high-level investors with serious influence. As Ripple continues acquiring key financial companies like Hidden Road being incorporated into Ripple Prime, the ecosystem grows more powerful. These moves are not happening slowly, they are happening rapidly and in coordination. Each new integration signals that XRP's utility phase is beginning. Ripple executives like Brad Garlinghouse and Monica Long have openly stated that XRP sits at the core of everything Ripple is doing. They are not hiding anything. Ripple Prime is already using RLUSD as collateral for Prime brokerage products, and they are exploring more ways to expand XRP usage. Some people originally thought RLUSD would replace XRP, which shows a misunderstanding of how digital finance works. RLUSD is a tool for stability, while XRP is the neutral bridge asset that connects different currencies, including stable coins. Both assets strengthen each other and support Ripple's global strategy. There are now 11 XRP treasury companies established, with Evernorth being the largest, holding over $1 billion in Ripple-backed value. These companies are expected to deploy on networks like Flare for additional yield, meaning more XRP will be locked and utilized in real-world financial processes. That limiting of available supply becomes critical once demand enters at full speed. Institutional investors are watching closely. They want trusted custody, compliance, and large-scale liquidity before moving huge amounts of capital. They are highly strategic. When those final pieces click into place, they do not trickle in, they rush in. The crypto market will not be ready for the amount of demand XRP will face. This is why staying early matters. This is where things become exciting. XRP is prepared. The infrastructure is being built. The traditional financial world is slowly merging with the digital one. In the next part, we will go deeper into why price has remained steady despite massive progress, and why that calm could be the quiet before the biggest move in crypto history. While many investors get frustrated watching other assets pump while XRP moves slower, you must understand that this is how smart money plays the game. Price suppression is not a sign of weakness. It is often a sign of accumulation. Institutional investors do not buy at all-time highs. They accumulate quietly when attention is elsewhere. That is exactly what we are seeing in the XRP market. The price continues to trade within a tight range, even while adoption expands across the globe. That is not a coincidence. When XRP finally breaks out, it will not be a small move. XRP has a long history of explosive price action once technical levels are confirmed. Many traders forget that charts tell a story of psychology. XRP has been forming a base through a long consolidation period. That structure creates fuel for a big move. Every low is higher than the previous major support zone. That means buyers are stepping in each time, protecting value. Meanwhile, whales are monitoring emotional retail investors who are easily shaken by small dips. Large wallets love to use fear to collect more tokens. So delays are not failures, they are strategy. The market is being positioned whether retail recognizes it or not. Ripple is in a stronger position today than at any time in its history. The company is profitable. It continues expanding its licensing footprint, recently gaining approval in major financial hubs, including Hong Kong and Singapore. These regions handle significant global money flows. That is not a small achievement. The more countries that accept Ripple's technology, the more XRP liquidity is required to support those corridors. This is why Ripple continues acquiring partners and building infrastructure. They are preparing for massive settlement volume. Real use case brings real demand. It will not require hype for XRP to rise. It will rise because the world needs what XRP provides. Another major difference with XRP is scarcity. Many people overlook the fact that XRP has a fixed supply. No more can ever be created. As Ripple expands, utility demand can increase sharply while supply remains capped. Most cryptocurrencies inflate endlessly, diluting holders over time. XRP has the opposite effect. As more tokens get locked into treasury functions, collateral programs, staking mechanisms, and institutional products, less liquidity remains available for public markets. When the financial system begins routing real settlement volume through XRP, demand could overwhelm supply rapidly. That is when price discovery becomes aggressive. The narrative around digital assets is also changing. We are no longer in the phase where crypto is seen only as a risky investment. Crypto is now seen as technological progress. Governments and corporations are adopting blockchain because they cannot afford to remain stuck in outdated systems. Ripple is positioned at the front of that transformation. They are not building a casino, they are building a backbone for global finance. If that becomes successful at the scale they are targeting, XRP's value will not reflect retail speculation. It will reflect financial infrastructure. There is always risk in markets. Nothing is guaranteed. Smart investors acknowledge uncertainty without letting fear stop them. XRP's price may continue to move sideways, but everything behind the scenes is accelerating. If you step back and view the full picture, the disconnect between utility progress and current price becomes obvious. That gap will not last forever. Market cycles are designed to reward patience, not panic. The traders who stay informed and hold conviction will be the ones positioned when the breakout finally arrives. In the next section, we will zoom in on what the charts are signaling right now, key technical triggers that could send XRP higher, and why one confirmation candle could be the spark that changes everything. Right now, the technical charts for XRP are showing a setup that deserves close attention. We are sitting just above the 5 and 13 EMA on the daily chart, which is a critical zone for bullish momentum. When the price holds above these short-term moving averages, it signals that buyers are beginning to take control. We only need one clean confirmation candle to validate this move. If tonight's closing candle finishes strong above those levels, especially above the 0.249249 zone that has repeatedly acted as resistance, XRP could quickly target the 0.260 to 0.270 price area. Traders who understand how breakouts behave know that once a trend flips bullish, early positioning matters. The market rarely gives warnings twice. On the weekly chart, XRP has bounced off the 50 EMA multiple times. Each bounce shows the long-term holders refusing to let value drop further. This is where smart money defends accumulation zones. The current weekly candle looks promising because we have rejected the downside and pushed upward. If that continues into Monday and we confirm a weekly close above recent resistance, that would be a major strength signal. Big moves in crypto often begin at the exact moment that retail investors lose patience. The charts right now are sending a clear message that the pressure is building beneath the surface. We must also look at the relationship between XRP and the broader crypto market. Bitcoin has been leading the recovery with a strong move above the 13 EMA. Ethereum is battling to stay above support, but is close. Solana is showing strength and is one of the coins already positioned for an aggressive push if momentum continues. When several top assets align above key technical levels, it indicates that confidence is returning. XRP tends to follow once the leaders establish direction. So if Bitcoin and Ethereum hold their bullish shift, XRP often becomes one of the biggest beneficiaries because it has more room to move upward. Volume will be a key factor. Any breakout without volume is weak and short-lived. However, the recent candles show an increase in buyer activity after a long period of selling pressure tied to global uncertainty and government shutdown concerns. When markets survive fear instead of collapsing from it, that is usually the moment when a rally starts. The question is whether the whales have finished their accumulation stage. They often use news events to scare retail investors into selling. When the selling dries up and panic no longer works, whales flip strategy from accumulation to markup. That is when they start pushing price upward to unlock liquidity. XRP looks like it is approaching that phase. We also should not ignore psychological price levels. Each time XRP gets close to 0.30, excitement returns fast. Once that level breaks and holds, investors who doubted the move begin chasing. That creates momentum. The opposite of fear is FOMO. A slow market can become a fast market. In only a few days, if XRP pushes to the 0.27030 region, social sentiment will flip bullish almost instantly. Chart signals plus emotional shift is the formula for explosive movement. None of this is guaranteed, and I want the audience to stay grounded and realistic. Crypto rewards preparation, not hope alone. We look at the data, we observe patterns, and we set expectations based on probability. Right now, probability is improving. A single daily candle could determine whether our next move is slow continuation or a sharp breakout. Your job is not to guess the future, but to recognize when the odds shift in your favor. In the final section, we will talk about investor psychology, long-term planning, and how to stay ready for the moment XRP finally delivers the move we have been waiting for. When we talk about XRP's future potential, we are not just dreaming big numbers. There is a realistic foundation behind the belief that XRP could reach 10 times, 20 times, or even more in the coming years. If Bitcoin reaches $1 million one day and Ethereum grows in the same ratio, then naturally XRP will not stay in the low range forever. What makes XRP special is not hype. It is the role it is being lined up to play in the global financial system. It is being positioned as a bridge asset that can move value across borders instantly. When worldwide demand increases, price must adjust. Markets always follow supply and demand. The supply of XRP is fixed. Demand, on the other hand, has barely even begun. This is why many serious investors imagine what life could look like after a major crypto run. For some, it is financial freedom. For others, it is the ability to support family, travel, start businesses, or choose a lifestyle with more peace and fewer limits. Personally, I picture owning a peaceful place near water where I can relax, spend time with family, enjoy fishing, and know that all the hard work paid off. These dreams matter because they keep investors focused during the slow times. If everything goes right in crypto over the next few years, many people in this community will see their lives change in real ways. It is not guaranteed, but the possibility is why we stay committed. While charts and technical indicators guide short-term strategy, the real value lies in long-term conviction. XRP is still underpriced compared to the role it aims to fill. We are early, and early stages require patience. There will always be red days. There will always be panic in the market. Those who succeed are the ones who can stay steady when emotions try to take control. Discipline is more powerful than fear. Holding because you believe is not blind faith. It is strategy when backed by research, utility, and adoption. That is how real investors think. The community around XRP is also a huge advantage. Millions of holders are learning, sharing knowledge, helping each other, and becoming smarter investors every week. This is how confidence grows, When confidence grows, selling pressure weakens. The stronger the base, the higher the structure built above it. Our responsibility as investors is to stay informed and make decisions with clarity. That is why communities like ours exist. We help each other grow. We learn together and work toward our goals with accountability. As we move ahead, the key is staying focused on the objective. One confirmation candle could start the next move. One regulatory approval could unlock institutional demand. One major partnership could change mainstream opinion overnight. XRP has multiple catalysts ready to activate. When those align, the price will respond quickly. Investors who waited for proof will find themselves entering too late. That is why preparation matters more than reaction. So here is the final message. Stay alert, stay disciplined, stay confident. A massive shift in this market can happen at any time. XRP has already survived pressure that would destroy weak projects. That alone shows strength. We continue to analyze, continue to update, and continue to move forward together. Thank you for being part of Hudson XRP News. Your support matters, and your belief matters. This journey is long, but the reward could be life-changing. Keep your eyes on the charts, protect your mindset, and always remember why you started investing in the first place. The next phase could be closer than anyone expects.